So I'm here today with Vicky Foster, who is the CEO of the British Beet Research Organisation. So Vicky, thanks for being part of the Back to the Future project. Just tell us what BBRO does, would you?
Yep, so we're basically everything around research and dissemination information to growers on everything to do with sugar beet. So from putting the crop in the ground to growing and looking after the crop to harvesting, storage, and then obviously packing it off to British Sugar to produce our wonderful silver spoon sugar.
And you do a lot of the research and science in BBRO.
Yes, yeah.
What's been the biggest exciting discovery of the last decade for sugar beet?
Goodness me, the most exciting discovery. Well, I think the exciting discovery is coming out of probably one of the biggest challenges. So I think 10 years ago, we would never have foreseen the loss of the neonic seed treatments. So I think in 2024, we would have not, 2014, we wouldn't have thought we wouldn't have them in 2024. But actually that's led us to look at lots of different ways that we can kind of control the impact of varichellas without some of that chemistry. So our program around IPM and innovation has absolutely exploded with some really, really exciting activities and some weird and wacky ideas to think about, you know, what is the future control for aphids and varichellas and sugar beet.
So fast forwarding a decade, where do you expect we'll be when we're having this conversation in 10 years in terms of the R&D and deliverables for growers?
And I think actually some of that the whole regen farming thing, sustainability is massive, and there's so much legislation now that to think where that's even going to end up in 10 years, obviously so much more I think we need to do around soil and soil health. I think IPM is going to continue to explode with lots more exciting kind of sort of novel ideas and techniques. And I also think the whole kind of sort of net zero thing, you know, and I can't even think, you know, where that might be in 10 years time and how machinery and automation might have changed. I think there's so many big changes and influences in the industry that what our sugar beet industry will look like in 10 years could be quite different to now. So, you know, so we need to develop lots of activity and projects and programs of new research to provide that information and data for our growers, but also to feed into government legislation, those sorts of things. That's so important. It's not just about delivering for growers these days. Actually being able to have some influence over, you know, the likes of the policy setters is really important with proper decent UK data.
Yeah, that evidence-based policy making, decision making.
Absolutely, it's so important, you know, because a lot, you know, the sugar beet is perhaps a poorer crop in some areas, and we maybe translate data from other countries, but it's different climates, it's different varieties, and we can't always do that.
And BBRO is going to be leading the R&D charge into the next decade?
Absolutely. At the moment, we're currently defining what our 10-year vision is, what our plan is, you know, how we need to support growers. So we're trying to think about what the industry might look like in 10 years' time to be able to set projects. Because for us, 10 years is 3 research projects. You know, generally our projects are every 3 years to get data from different conditions and different environments. So that's only 3 projects. So that's 3 cracks at looking for new answers on these solutions. So in our world, it's actually very short. And some people might think, gosh, you know, in 10 years, what am I going to be growing? What's my rotation going to look like? What's my farm going to look like? So we have to be ahead of that game to make sure we're there to support those growers.
Fantastic. BBRO leading the charge into the next decade. Thank you, Vicky.
Thanks, Belinda.